Hello everyone! Thank you for joining Experimental Civics and our Design Thinking for Social Good series. This is Module 2, Team Storytelling, and is one of the 6 design thinking tools that we will be sharing with you. Start with people. When design thinking, you need to first consider the fact that it focuses on collaboration and group work. In other words, start with people. Imagine, you have decided to host a workshop at your local co-working space. Or your team has finally come together, regardless of time zones, to talk about and rethink your product design. How do we build bonds above the structures of teacher-student, lecturer-listener, CEO-strategist? Well, it's time to break them down and be people without labels. So let's start with play. When it comes to play, there is usually a game involved. And here's a fun one to start with. Craft a story. Together. Team storytelling. One person starts the story. You can use once upon a time, or any other beginning. Then he or she turns to the person on the right, and he or she adds a sentence with a leading thought. Then repeat. For example, person number 1. Once upon a time, I was at a jazz festival when all of a sudden... Person number 2, right of number 1. There was a flash of light. The entire place went dark and I... Person number 3, right of number 2. Began to smell what can only be described as burnt ketchup, which, however odd, made me feel... And so on and so forth. Every time we've done this exercise, we've had the craziest stories related to talking fruit. Yes, you heard right, fruit. That talks. Vampires, magic carpets, and the world being burnt to ashes, except New Zealand. The point of this exercise is to get to the absurd, to spark the imagination, to laugh at and with each other, to write stories together, to actively listen to the whole dialogue, to build a moment with each other. This exercise can take just 5 to 10 minutes of your time, but I can assure you the return of investment will ripple forward for months after your meeting. It's happened before. Highlight strengths. You have opened up the space. Now comes the time to capitalize on the positive and reinforce the confidence in each other. Enforce the why of the team with whoever is present. We love asking people to share why they're here and encourage them to talk about their strengths. This is not the time for modesty or negativity concerning what people wish they could do or be. Instead, everyone has to share their positive qualities and take the time to find how to best incorporate their skill set into the project. Interestingly, many of us are unaware of what skills we can bring to the table. I have found that this exercise paves the way to greatness in the future. Highlight thinking patterns. We have always found that it is also important to talk about different systems of thought, especially when it comes to managing people and having them work on projects that best suit them. We all have our own leadership styles and personality traits that make us unique. There are existing frameworks that we can use, such as introvert versus extrovert too. For us, we ask that people address tasks that harness their strengths first. Then, ensure that the group as a whole knows what each person will be doing. Mix and match. Some people often want to branch out to learn something new or spontaneously sit with a new team. This is the best part, but it should happen after the primary group is glued and confident. In fact, I almost encourage that curiosity. But after tasks have been delegated and we know what we are doing. For facilitators, we have to focus on the people on the journey and how we make them feel during the brainstorming process. But throughout this game, especially with a larger group, You might want to actively push people to join and form different teams to encourage greater bonding. If you have any questions, please reach out to us. We will see you in the other modules.